Hello, this is my BMW 7 Series. It's very old. It's also the cheapest car I've ever owned. How cheap? Well, you're about to find out. Many people have tried to kill this car with trolleys and their car. There's scratches all over it. I mean, there's one here, for instance. The wheels have been refurbed and it smells. It's been one of the most reliable cars too. BMW, they like to do the recall. You get a letter, we would like to recall your car. It's 100 years old. Doesn't matter, we're recalling it, I like it. Done some paint, but apart from that, this has broken down like never. Or has it? I'm actually going to show you the numbers in just a moment. I've actually got my board. Once I get my board out, things get properly explained. But before that, something that has kept me awake and might be one of the reasons why I've kept this are some inventions that cars today don't do. Inventions such as these buttons that store your most frequently used things. For example, on here I've got my EQ, which I just press one button, or the interior disco lighting, or number one I've saved as go home. Then of course there's things like the Harman Kardon sound system, which I am a big fan of, and it does sound better the longer you keep it. The speakers get better the more you use them. That's strange. The materials, bits of wood. I mean, those are just some of the reasons why I've kept this, but there is an even bigger reason, and that is cost, because this car, believe it or not, was £74,000 list. I didn't pay that. What did I pay? £322 a month. So how is that even possible? Well, you're about to find out, because I am getting the board out. Board out, mate. Don't you worry about that. No. Let's go back to 2018, where this car was £42,000. In order to finance that, I sold my first car for cash, and then I had some savings. What does money look like? Should we do that? Right, which then paid for this car. Now, the reason this is interesting is because I've done two things here. Number one, I have controlled my guaranteed future value. And number two, I haven't paid any APR. But how did we get to this £322 a month?
Obviously, you experts will already know. However, there are kids now watching YouTube instead of TikTok. I know. But because now consumers are asking some very serious questions about what to do next, I thought it'd be useful. One of them might be, how do we make buying cars cheaper and what should we get? Well, that's what this series is for, and there's lots of tips coming up. But first, here's a worrying fact.
Did you know that air suspension in cars is only supposed to last for 80 to 100,000 miles? This is very new to me and a bit of a worry, considering a lot of cars, in fact most cars that are decent, have air suspension. The air suspension in this actually failed. So I rang BMW and they said it would cost upwards of £4,000.
What?
Thankfully, in my case, I found a solution. They are called Erosus, and what they do is make air suspension parts for all cars. Here is the website. If you look on here, it actually says Rolls-Royce. So for your Rolls-Royce, so this is brilliant because it means that if you wanted to keep your car and something went wrong, it's not going to cost you a fortune. So here is my invoice from Erosus for an air suspension compressor. Thank heavens it was only that, £259. And then from Infinity Automotive, £348. So you can add that together. It's a lot less than £4,000, and I get a 2-year warranty as well. I have another fascinating tip for you in just a moment, but first, back to the scientific board, the Cars Uncovered board. Let's do the Cars Uncovered logo. Right, cars. Good, isn't it? Right, anyway, so £322 a month. How did we get there from a £70,000 car? Simple. You've already rolling your eyes at me because you know this. £42,000 is what I paid. The trade on this car, if I was going to trade it, worst case scenario 15, best case scenario 16,500. I've kept this car for a total of 79 months. Take 1650 from 42 and you end up with 25, about 25 and a half, okay? Correct me if I'm wrong. 25.5 divided by 79 months is £322 a month for a £70,000 car. That's a saving of at least £350 a month if the car was on, say, PCP or lease at 42 grand, and a saving of probably 3 times that if I'd got it from new.
So yeah, for the kids watching, the true cost of any car is always what it costs you whilst you own it, or cost price minus what you sell it for divided by the number of months you drive it. It's all to do with future value.
And that is why you see sometimes older people driving around in their old cars. Mate, it's not that they can't afford to get a new one, it's because, yeah.
Bear in mind there's also tangible benefits to buying new cars more regularly, which include no maintenance worries, improved productivity, yeah, experiencing new technology and the lovely new car smell. That's it, mate. Go on.
Here's a brilliant tip if you have wheels that are prone to damage or you have run flats. Sometimes wheels get buckled. In this case, this wheel got very badly buckled, and I took it to a local wheel repair specialist who told me that the wheel was buckled, twisted, completely ruined, dead, and should be thrown away in the bin. So I ordered another one, believing them. When that arrived from London, that too was buckled, and in fact it was buckled worse. So I put that back on the car, and I asked again the local wheel specialist if there was anything they could do. They said, no, you need to buy a new wheel. A new wheel for one of these is probably 800 plus. So I did some ringing around. I got a second opinion, and I spoke to a local man who had a pipe, and he did metal repairs. He repaired this wheel for £80. No buckle, no twist, no vibration, balance is perfect.
The Stoics say that trust is a currency best spent sparingly. In other words, what people say a lot of the time is a load of old nonsense, and that includes advice on YouTube, especially about financing cars. Keeping my car for longer allowed me to prove this theory and test ownership versus value.
And actually, in that experiment, in keeping this car as long as possible, it has taught me something else about BMW that I wasn't sure about before, and that is something called planned obsolescence. Years ago, there were some rumours on forums that some car manufacturers are making cars not as good, so that essentially after 3 or 4 years you need to replace it. I'm not so sure that exists, because if planned obsolescence was a thing, this car on 80,000 miles would very much be in the bin. So they were wrong, because it isn't.
So here's where you come in. Comments quiz. Which one of these are you? Have you paused your next car purchase for a little while? Have you refinanced your PCP? Have you considered changing how you finance your car? Or are you like many, are going to keep your car for longer than you usually would? I look forward to reading your comments and the wisdom